Good morning, friends. Stephen Benoon here with Israeli News Live, and as I promised, we're getting back in the saddle here, ready for the fight once again. I'm sitting here looking at my computer screen right now in the background, and I'm looking at a letter that came from an individual that had a very close relationship with Hillary Clinton and knows a lot about what's going on. I have wanted to interview this individual for some time, but there is a lot of fear and anxiety because the attempts that have been made upon this individual's life. I know this also from my own family. I've got an aunt that had very good friends that were very close to the Clintons back when they were in power, and basically still are in power. I don't want to just say that loosely. And when they rubbed them the wrong way, they had to flee for their lives. So I know this in a more intimate way as far as that. Now, sometimes there will be abbreviations that I will use, HRC, like for example, Hillary Rodham Clinton, but I'll just try to go ahead and say the names. But if I do that, I'll try to clarify what these are. There's another one called Wazloop. It's actually Walmart. Just coded wording and stuff sometimes that was written. I don't know exactly why, but this individual is trying to be sure to be careful because they want the information in your hands, but they're afraid to publicly come out and say it. And I understand why. So let's get started. I'm going to try to read this entire thing without interruption, without trying to comment, so that you can hear the details and understand. It is a very, the letter is put together, it seems to be a little bit erratic, very difficult to follow, especially in the beginning. But once I go through the entire letter or get maybe about halfway into it, you really begin to follow what's happening. So you may want to go back and listen to the video more than once to understand this. Let's go then. Hillary Rodham Clinton, before she got into the White House with hubby, was on the board of Walmart. She and Jillian also, perhaps the trust fund babies to IBM, the one that brought Hitler to power. Hillary Clinton may be a Phillips Tobacco, who also brought up the utility rights to New York City when they sued themselves in court. It only cost them like $139,000, nice payoff. But who will argue with mass murders? The Vanguard and BlackRock accounts have been scamming us for years. It is rumored, and also they are also Congress and Senate retirement funds. The Obamacare Act was really Hillary Clinton and Cuomo. They shut the government up in the first paragraph by threatening them with imprisonment if they said anything about it. It is basically a crapshoot wherein they, the Clintons, and now with the help of Madoff Group, Bidens are stealing everything right before our eyes. They have set us up royally. They do intend to chip everything with her omni variant, omni meaning all and cron meaning cron Linux, the old IBM operating system. That is why they are so afraid of them. They could shut everything down tomorrow. They have been watching us all for years with Krypton's V-chip that they put in televisions before they left the White House in the 90s. This is a big artificial information takedown sponsored by their Marxist operation. They want the chip implant us all, jab or not. Jabs is a system Crimtons set up. It means judicial access browsing system. Think about that. So you hear this word jabs, and it actually has a meaning. Judicial access browsing systems. BC, or Mr. Google, did it first to watch the people leaving prison. Now they want to monitor us all the time in a very creepy way. They have over 300,000 people watching us all now from their homes, and they get paid very well, some 200,000 a year for doing so. They have tried killing me a few times because of a few lawsuits. I am involved with them. Talking about the person was involved in a few lawsuits with them. But not sure what is going on with that. But after stealing the presidency, isn't it funny that they are doing these shutdowns again to shut down the courthouses mainly? Clintons and China are spraying lab waste on us, and Hochul just approved part of it again, I believe. Gates and Fauci have conflicting end-of-day scenarios. The past few days, Gates has decided that the COVID will be over in December of 2022 with a big dumb look on his face, and Fauci is not quite sure. But what may go on at least another 10 years. Now, these are the world experts. So assumingly the Gates patent will be up in December of 22, and the Fauci one up in 10 years from now, give or take, if he is still even alive then, one can only imagine two creepy hands high-fiving with China, Joey King 11, Xi, which that's who 11 is. 11 is called Xi Jinping, in other words. And the two lords a-leaping all the way to the Clinton-Biden bank accounts, but high-fiving it in some creepy lagoon somewhere from down under. Oh yeah, if China and Joey makes it to December 2022, he is in there 2 years and can call himself legitimate at the time. No, Joey still illegitimate. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he's actually talking about Joe Biden, is what she's talking about right there. So, just clarification. We'll continue to read. And if you think that is bad, the Clintons netted trillions under Epstein and child trafficking. They're going to let them walk. Wow, corrupt judge, jury, prosecuting attorney, all need to be arrested and charged as they are complicit to crimes against children. I believe Hillary Clinton and not Maxwell was Madam X. Pfizer and Moderna, which I believe are owned and controlled by the Clintons, are making a killing, and chemtrails are back. Looks like Hochul and Hillary Clinton won. Hochul is invested in our demise. J&J, as is all our politicians. Buffalo, New York, UB College had opened up a nanotech campus in or about 2014, and in October or so of 2019, without real reason, closed it. Hillary Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, gave the Chinese a 99-year lease on the Niagara Falls Airport, who of course travel their goods around the USA, but what else do they do? Cuomo and Hillary Clinton privatized the EPA and FEMA and allowed Canada to bring across old arsenals of nuclear waste and break it down in West Valley. For what purpose? The Congress of Clintons and Obama regimes okayed that lab waste from and could be broken down and sprayed into the skies as a way of disposal. I am old enough to remember the 80s, how good things were before the Clintons got in, and we did have a few good years here under Trump. But the monsters are back. China, Joey, speaking of Joe Biden, are holding the world hostage because they have a company called IBM, who not confirmed yet, Miss Watson, JB, and Miss Phillips, Hillary Clinton. By the way, Miss Watson is Joe Biden and Miss Phillips is Hillary Clinton, a trust fund babies who have plans of a chip implant. Epstein was more about trapping people, as Madam Hillary Clinton was all about fear. The fear is, I believe, that they will turn the lights out all over the globe should the world not give them what they want in their genome project, and brought the patents to the human cells, they figure, but at the same time, these nut jobs are trying to kill us all. Dumb and dumber, but it is all out money and power, and they want to own the world. I guess these drug dealers, and they do own many, if not all, of the drug companies, Moderna, Pfizer, the Congress, Senate, pension funds, and all come from Vanguard. The Obamacare Act, in the first actual document, stated that the Congress and Senate could not talk about, etc. An act that could face imprisonment, etc. We are being told so many alternate realities, but basically she did not win. Joey did not win. In other words, Hillary didn't win, Joe Biden didn't win, talking about the presidencies, and they got the goods on her. Problem is, Clinton keeps killing all the witnesses. The world leaders that are pushing back are assassinated. 9/11, Clinton and China were in court 2 blocks away from the Twin Towers for election fraud. The next day, 9/12, the case was dropped and another document placed on Bush's desk with the intent of the same group, we will call them ISIS, the right to run the war that they just started. Basically, Clinton have been running the government for years, and well before the twice impeached Clinton, once in Arkansas and the other in order to get things behind them. Thank you, Clayman, Fenton, and others, a clean slate of courtesy of our government. The Clintons, in order to get the vote taken down from many nefarious deeds and not sex, were suing the entire government and other room for a check writing scheme the Clintons had started and tricked Congress, Senate into doing. Do you really think Obama was running the government? No, Hillary Clinton was, from her Senate seat, and at the time embezzling much money, trillions. She also is trust fund baby to Hoover, FBI funds. It's huge. It goes on, and with Miss descendant of Frank G. Phillips, right-hand man of Franklin G. Roosevelt, who created the oil and fuel that is used in all the planes, who knows what else they use now. Like I said, it goes on. The Clintons are trillionaires. There are few around, but everything they own is stolen. Should be taken by RICO laws, but again, they appear to kill judges, prosecutors, etc., and now everyone, the nut jobs, because the government is too afraid of them. It may be their final demise. They know from the studies for years that only 5 to 10% of the population discern what they hear. Others believe who they are told to believe. It is amazing to me that Madam Hillary Clinton and William Clinton are walking away from this and are not finished with us yet. Their genome project and CHAI, Clinton Health Assessment Initiative. The thing that gets me is what idiots, and probably actually idiots, the world leaders are. Most of you are probably too young to remember, and I voted for the Clintons in the 90s as a Democrat. But the world was a different place before they got in. The only thing you could feel when they were in was something creepy happening, just like it is happening now. Hillary Clinton was on a group with the Rockefellers when she was a Republican working as an intern in the Nixon White House. She was in a group called Zero Population Growth, wherein they would take children of New York and rape them, but they have hid it all. That whole thing. Do women rape? Yes, she did, and to include others and their disgusting scheme is beyond disgusting. I was really surprised by the church, though. So sad. But all the damage the Clintons have done will not be done at this point without that accomplishment in the White House in charge. I believe it is a mix of radiation sprayed in the air. Hochul just renewed allowing radioactive material to be brought to the United States again from Canada to be broken down in the Westfield, and then what? Did they spray in the air? Cuomo first approved of it. Also, China has meat factories in the USA, has stolen now, and botulism would not be a far-fetched idea, as in the first cases of corona in the USA were about 8,000 at a few of their meat processing companies. Also, boil your water, always a good idea. If you saw what is in that crap, you would not drink it. You have been outvoted. I'm in the last paragraph, friends. Let's bear with me. The Chinese Communist States of America, North and South, and we have Obama's to thank for it. Obama's put into effect that in 2020, that is in 2020, the new minorities in our country would be Arabs and Asian. Arab and Asian, he also put into effect that for every one immigrant was in our country, they could bring in 24 peoples of theirs who do not pay taxes for 7 years. Get many perks, also not sure if this is illegal or legal. So what that means today with the Chinese president in there is that they currently have 8 million Chinese students here. 8 million times 24 million equals 192 million. And that doesn't even count the illegals that are in here, which may be about 20 million times 24, 480 million. That is about 672 million who, by the way, do not have to be vaccinated. The funny part is, how long does our genius CIA, FBI, or any other non-owned non-owned China anything, including the churches and the schools, but also the lovely governments? How long do they, after that, but getting back to the elections, if they just put in that you have to be vaxxed in order to vote, they also cannot vote on anything, maybe, but neither can the unvaxxed. And by and by, they are working on an Ebola vaccination now. An Ebola vaccination crapshoot theory is that they will use it in a little China, California first. And as far as the Muslims go, China would probably feel they would make good slaves as well. All healthy people will also have to work in the fields to produce enough food for themselves and many more wonderful things. I believe they have planned. Anyway, to vax or not to vax seems to be the question now, as most of the idiot leadership is blind to the fact there is a Chinese Marxist takeover, and pity the Russians who are still trying to pick Ukraine off. China will blow them off the map once and for all. And finally, I believe the world leaders are idiots. Idiots, and that is biblical. Oh, and lastly, China is currently setting up a permanent residence in the lovely Australia and Africa now. All right, just in conclusion, let me just tell you guys real quick. A lot of these things here I'm able to actually get confirmed, especially when it comes to the Clintons and their power. I knew, as I've said to you guys before, maybe on Patreon, maybe not here on Israeli News Live, the Clintons, Hillary Clinton was coming to the White House all the way back during the time of the Bush administration, and she was instrumental in bringing the body of Nimrod and the Iraq War. She was the mastermind behind this. That's something a lot of people are not even aware of. So yes, they've been very much involved in that. And they're still in power. I know for a fact that Hillary Clinton still runs the White House. It's not Obama, it's not Biden, it's not Kamala Harris or any of the above. It is Hillary Clinton. Now my question is, though, is where did they get all this power that this is being mentioned in this individual's letter? That's my question. And I'll try to see if I can't dig more to find out about that. But as we know, a long list of people do not make it when they go to rub against them. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're listening to Israeli News Live. Have a great day.